whilst we're having a chat, should we talk about market trends with what's
can.
going on with your desk at the moment?
Yes.
What are you seeing in the marketplace?
Okay, this year I've noticed a big rise in permanent requests. Let me rephrase that. Requests to have more permanent roles compared to contract, which we were doing for 2 years straight.
We were doing contract after contract, and what you're saying to me is that you're seeing people actually wanting to pay permanent recruitment fees for blue collar labour.
Yeah.
If you told me that
2 years ago.
2 years ago, a year ago, how long have I been in the professional recruitment selling business? 22 years? I would say never, not in a million years would you be doing perm blue collar. And for the fees that you're doing as well, they're just insane. They're on the same level as executive white collar.
Yeah, but you just wouldn't think that when people just want to contract temp to perm, because honestly with trades they're a little bit different. They will chase that extra dollar, so people don't want to have them there permanently and then they pay this massive fee and then they quit, a few months later. So now that I'm getting all these requests for permanent roles, it shocks me.
What do you think though of, like, we're getting all these requests for perms. Are the trade workforce willing to come off the contracting circuit and go full time?
If the money is right.
Okay.
Some clients won't pay good permanent rates. Like we'll pay really good contract rates. Like they'll be getting 55 an hour, and then when they go permanent at the end of the 6 months, they offer them 35. I wouldn't even go for that.
And I think this is where the whole recruitment model works better, but at the same time as well, clients have got to be realistic with what the workforce is requiring now, because there's a bit of a problem going on at the moment. The amount of people, the tradies retiring at the moment is greater than the amount of new apprentices taking up new apprenticeships. So the trade workforce is technically shrinking every year. Yes, we've got people coming from overseas, and we've got some great clients. You've got some great clients that'll take working holiday temp to perm.
They do.
They're great. We're seeing more and more of that. It's good to see. But yeah, it's a real problem.
I've noticed it, and it's also hard. I'm happy to fill any job that I get given, permanent contract, whatever it is, but if they're not offering the right money, it's even harder to place them, especially when they're only, open to one option. They're not going to look at our other options that we offer. So I think that's a bit of a pickle for us sometimes, I've noticed.
Well, if they're going to listen to anyone, it's going to be you, Anthea.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because you definitely have a tonality about when you want to make a point.
Just
with me. And I think your clients would be crazy not to listen to.
I think, no, they can't see my facial expressions over the phone. I can't
But they
hide
can hear
that.
it. They can hear it. They can hear you going down the phone. I promised you today that I wouldn't swear. I did make you that promise.
You can swear. What are you going to say?
I was going to say that they can hear in your tone, you're like, fuck off. Like, this is not happening. This is what is happening.
It's true.
It's true. I wish more of our office did that. But, you've been with us for a little while now.
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years. And you're now a senior. Congratulations.
Yep. Thank you.
Well and truly deserved.
I think so.
I do too. I want to get you up to principal. I'd love to see you a principal.
I'd love to tell people what to do.
Yeah, I could. Listen, I reckon when you're ready, I could see you running the team at TRS.
You know what? It'll be good because I'd just like to help other people out, but I do enjoy the recruitment side of things. So,
well,
I like to do both.
As you know, I declared in the office the other day, I'm 44 and a half, basically. So, and I want to be out of recruitment day to day by 50. So I'm going to retire from recruitment as a recruit by 50. You're going to want to do other things. Anyway, I mean, TRS is now 7. Where the hell did that happen? But obviously over our odyssey of the 7 years, and you've been with us 3 and a bit.
Almost 3.
Almost 3.
In May.
Okay, right. That's why I thought it was.
My 3rd birthday at TRS.
Your 3rd birthday. What are we doing for your 3rd birthday?
We're going to go to Sydney and go on a yacht. Didn't I tell you?
Okay. Have we run that past the doctor yet or what?
Yeah.
Oh, so Rachel signed off on us going on a yacht. Okay, I'll just make it happen.
You say for me to make executive decisions, and then when I do it, you want me to run it past someone.
No, I just want to make sure that I'm not going to get yelled at. So over our odyssey of 7 years, there's been a couple of horror stories, hasn't there?
Yep, I can think of a few.
I can think of a few as well, but your horror stories are always a bit more...
I've copped it.
You've copped it.
But they're good stories to tell now that I'm past it emotionally.
Are we comfortable to talk about a couple of them?
Yeah, there's one that always sticks with me.
Yeah.
And it's not even the worst, but I think it's because it was the first one. It's just stuck with me almost 3 years later. Mm-hmm. When I first started, I would say like a month and a half into TRS, I had such a good candidate. He was amazing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, my client at the time loved him. Mm-hmm. And before, I just need to confirm with everyone that when I get a new client on board, I always check with them. Are you happy with our rates? What are you looking for? I do all my checks to avoid stuff like this from happening. And sent the client a contract on the Friday. He's starting on the Monday. This guy quit his full-time job for this job.
Yeah.
And then at 3:30 on a Friday, the client's like, I don't want him. I don't want to pay your rates. And I'm thinking, what about 2 weeks ago when you were like, yep, you know, I love this guy. I want to get him on board. Your rates are fine. Then I had to give this guy the bad news when he's quit his full-time job. He's talking about his family to me, so I felt guilty. And I just wanted to crawl into a hole.
That was pretty horrific that day, actually.
Mm-hmm. It was a mess.
Yeah, you handled it really well. We had a bit of a fucking meltdown.
I can't remember how I handled it.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think, did we go drinking after that?
No, I went home and cried. No, but internally,
I didn't even know you were capable of crying.
No, I don't cry.
No, you don't.
Maybe if I'm frustrated, which is like never, but yeah, I smile when I'm uncomfortable. I'm smiling now because I'm happy, but yeah, I also smile when I'm
You've come a long way.
Comfortable, yeah.
You've come a long way in the early days of your odyssey within recruitment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think, what are the horror stories we have?
There was one where I broke a few privacy laws within a month.
Oh, that was funny.
This is actually funny.
This one was funny. I'll be honest with you, you were devastated about it. I was piercing myself
because it was like really... Again, I was learning. I was a trainee. Let's just say this guy's name was...
She was a trainee, guys. She doesn't do this stuff anymore.
Let's say his name was very generic, like a James Martin.
James Martin, yes.
We'll say Martin.
Yeah, it was actually a very generic name.
It was a very generic name. There was like 10 of them
yeah, that's right. This wasn't just like a fluke of nature. There was actually, I think it was up to 10 people with the same name. So it was a bit of name lotto.
So I am calling this guy James, you know, setting him up for an interview. And for a week or so, we're going back and forth. And I remember I was also calling another James at the time. And this James, who actually had no idea about the job that he interviewed for, was going along with it on the phone. So it's also a little bit of the candidate's fault, because this other James is pretending that he's gone along with, you know, that he's gone to the interview.
Yeah.
I'd say, James, how was it? He'd go, yeah, it went really well. I'm like, cool. And then I'd have another phone call with him, and then this guy would act like he had no idea, but would go along with it. So we'd have team meetings about it, and for 2 weeks in a row, I'll say, guys, there's just something not right about this candidate.
Yep.
And no one was picking up on it. So whatever, I somehow overrided something in the system, which, again, you got to check, because if I could do that...
You did hotwire something, yeah, and you launched this placement.
When we do our placements in our system, you cannot make it without a rights to work, our documentation... Yeah. It will not let you go forward unless you've got it in place. Somehow I overrided that in the system had no idea what I was doing.
Yep.
And then I'm sending contracts to this other person. And then I called him, like, did you get the documents? You didn't sign them. He goes, what are you talking about, Anthea? I haven't received anything. And then I'd call him again on a different number. I don't know how I didn't pick it up. And he goes, oh, yeah, I'll sign the contract. So I had 2 people I was dealing with.
Gets better.
And then he was kind of annoying me. I'm like, just fill the paperwork out.
Yeah.
So I sent this guy a text message. I'm like, is this your email and is this your phone number? Like, what's going on? This James, now I'm confusing myself, but this James that was not the one that interviewed.
Yep.
He sent an abusive and threatening text message and phone call to that other James. You're stealing my identity.
Yeah, because you rung. I think the story was you thought that you gave the other guy's details to the
I'm like,
other
can you
James,
confirm?
thinking that someone had stolen ID. So this candidate actually rung the other candidate and threatened him.
Yeah, threatened him with his life. He goes, you're impersonating me. All I wanted to do was, can you confirm that this is your email and phone number? And then he ran with it, outside of hours and threatened him. And then he threatened me, saying, like, you've given out my details to other people.
It wasn't great. We got it buttoned up in the end. I got involved pretty quick at that point.
I was so blasé about it.
Yeah, you're okay. It was a valuable lesson.
But you should have picked up on it when I was like, I was new and I was like, guys, something's not adding up.
You know the one thing I love about recruitment? You never have the same day twice. In 21 years at that time, so-called 20 years of career, 21 years at that stage of my career, I'd never had this problem. 2 candidates, identical names.
I can surprise
Identical.
you. But they went along, the other guy went along with
similar
it.
ages and similar backgrounds, as in like similar. I think they were both boilers or something like that. So it's not like one was a warehouse manager and the other one was a boiler. I'm pretty sure they were both boilers.
No, they were. They were the same trade. It was a sheer coincidence, and then they'd both call me on and off. So I was just going along with it too. I mean,
it was a bit of a horror
you
story.
learn.
I've got.
What are yours? What's your biggest horror story?
At TRS or in my recruitment career?
At TRS.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. My biggest personal horror story. Oh! Okay, this is actually funny as fuck. Okay, and you couldn't make this shit up if you tried. So I had a site visit with this client. Yeah. So we're in the owner's office, big boardroom table, like big table. There's a semicircle of us around, like that. I'm sitting in, we're talking trades, orders, everything around. And there's these big ceiling or floor to ceiling windows in the background.
Okay.
And there's these tanks, fuel tanks all piled up there. So it's just their storage down the back of the thing. And then I just saw behind those tanks, there was a forklift. And you see these tanks bobbing down. Okay, down, go get another one. Okay. Talking serious business, and then what the funny thing was I'm like, fuck, I'm thinking to myself, this forklift driver's going pretty quick. I must be under the pump to really get these tanks in. Anyway, about 2 minutes after I had this conversation, I hear this like sonic boom, and I'm like, it's like literally like a plane's broken the speed, like the speed of sound. But what it was is the forklift driver, which was my forklift driver, had ended up putting a tank through one of these floor-to-ceiling windows in the office next door whilst I was in the meeting with all the managers. And
you're right there.
Literally, this window exploded. Like it was literally like a bomb going off. The thing just shrapnel through the office. It was, and I turned to the guys and said, "I think I'll go now," because I didn't think at the time I didn't know it was my forklift driver.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave you to this mess. I'm gonna. It
cost me $1,500.
I actually know. I remember this. I wasn't there, but I remember you dealing with it.
I'm just like, I'm gonna leave right now. And I didn't realise it was my forklift driver.
You didn't have to pay though. You did it because you wanted to.
But there's no. I mean, and the other horror. So but this happens with clients. Like I had a forklift driver at one of our fuel tanker clients drop an engine. That was a bit of a horror story.
When was that?
It was they just carelessness picked it up,
Good
Literally
stuff.
picked it up, engine just fell off, smashed the sump off it. All the horror stories I've had is always site-based stuff.
Yeah.
You know, carpenter drilling into a fire panel or something and setting off the fire alarms in the building. That's a big one. Flooded basements, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I guess you always have horror stories, but I guess it's also the way you deal with them. They're fun after, and they're ultimate learning experiences.
I was going to say that and good stories to tell. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like at the end of the day, you are only as good as your last placement, and sometimes shit does go very south in this game of recruitment. And it's really what I like about the way you deal with your horror stories is you recover really quickly.
Well, it's not my fault.
Well, it's never. I didn't say it was your fault. I was just.
That's how I deal with it. If you know, in recruitment and in actually every industry, to be fair, when things go wrong, people don't plan for things to go wrong, especially if it's your candidate. Do clients really think that I would want them to not rock up to an interview? Would I want them to think, are they not licensed and all these things? Like, you don't put someone forward to embarrass yourself or have them question your abilities.
No.
I would not.
This comes down to, the recruitment triangle back in the day, about building, the two sides of the triangle, one between yourself and the client and one between you and the candidate, because the one side you can't control is what the candidate and the client talk to each other when they do the interview. Your recruitment style has always been direct, open. These are...
I take pride in that.
Very direct. Client, you don't generally take bullshit from the client, and I love that style. It's so good. Like, it's great.
I think no one should. Everyone's got different ways of dealing with particular clients that are a bit more high maintenance or rude or just not great to deal with. You just got to know from the start, if you're not vibing, it's not going to happen.
This is it, and you've got to identify that quickly. But obviously, with your client base, it's very solid. You've been working with them now for 3 years, and it's always growing. Maybe we should have a chat about some new areas that you're going into at the moment. Around
like?
this. Well, I wouldn't mind having a chat about your consultancy work, the ESG, energy transition, power generation. You've picked up a little bit of waste management, but you seem to have gone to a duck to water with ESG and power generation. But what are you seeing in that? Obviously, it's brand new. I mean, we've only been in it a couple of months now. We're getting traction in it. Clients are talking to us, but
trying to get more clients on board.
Yeah. I mean, as you know, we're always trying to adapt to TRS, and just because we've been supplying one sector for a very long time doesn't mean that we shouldn't start supplying other sectors, because there's a massive change at the moment, especially in Melbourne with around power generation. But what are you starting to see with your new clients?
Well, first of all, I don't have, I'll be honest, no active jobs on it, but I know it's a huge industry. Boilermakers, mechanical fitters and diesel mechanics, they're really great. But I feel like, going into a new industry and servicing that, I don't know, I just want to learn more about it. There's so many roles that I don't know, and, if clients, allow me to help them, you naturally learn more about the industry when you take on more jobs. You're not going to know everything straight away. I knew nothing about trades and services.
No, but your training and the way that you build your desk, you can go get the information to do it. But one thing you do know a lot about was mechanical fitters, diesel mechanics, but repurposing them into this ESG space, which...
It's not too different.
It's not too different. I mean, we were talking the other day to that bus company that wants to start retraining diesel mechanics with, to make them sort of EV mechanics, which I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll give it a crack.
I wouldn't know.
You don't need to know.
I just do the recruitment.
Well, this is it. So many people come to me and say, oh my God, how do you recruit for so many different industries? You must acknowledge... be knowledgeable across all stuff. Yes, you need to know what that person does, right? Yeah. And you need to know the duties of what they do. However, past that, you know enough to recruit effectively.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot about construction recruitment, but I haven't really been in it for 7 years, but I was in it for 15 years. So, you get to know a certain industry extremely well, but it's more of a case of using the skill set and adapting it to a new market.
I think so. I would love to do more work in there, so we'll see how it goes.
It will all come. If you build it, they will come.
Yes, I know. It's really hard I was actually speaking to an electrician that I was trying to help out, one of my clients that specialises in renewable energy solutions.
Yep.
This guy was amazing. I'm talking to him and I'm pitching him the job, and he asked me about the salary, and I said, it's around 120 to 140 depending on experience. They're pretty negotiable though. Because I think I'm wasting your time. And I'm like, what are you getting paid? He goes to me, 250,000 plus super and benefits. And I'm thinking, who are you working for? Oil and gas.
Oil and gas, yeah.
Oil and gas. I want to get into that industry.
I actually know a lot about it from my Perth recruitment days. The oil and gas industry on the East Coast is not it's big, but it's not as big as what it is on the West Coast.
Yeah. I'd love to go into that, but it's a completely different thing.
Yes and no. You could definitely do it tomorrow without an issue. But I guess what I want to talk about with you is, where do you think, you know your industries well, you know your client base well, what do you think we're going to have to do with the trade shortages, which are here forever now?
Yeah.
How do you feel that you need to change the way you recruit to better deal with your clients' expectations and your candidate expectations?
Honesty. That's what I think. Yeah, just to be completely transparent with them. Yeah.
It's a scary thought.
No, I had and I think this client respected it. I just spoke to him for the first time this week, and he's looking for, diesel technicians, and he wants to pay them 40 to 45 an hour.
Not going to happen.
And I said to him, look, I can look for you, but if you want quality, I said I was actually looking for the same job, but they're paying 50 to 60 an hour plus, all these other benefits. I'm happy to help you out. But I'm going to, when I send people over to you, I'm going to state what they're looking for so we don't waste any time. And I think they respect that.
Yeah, the diesel mechanic industry has changed massively because the mines just hoover them up. But a lot of the dealers now are paying diesel mechanics extremely good money to go service their
Maybe
clients.
we should be diesel mechanics.
You know what? I actually walked away from an apprenticeship in Perth. I could have been diesel mechanic.
Really?
Yeah.
I cannot imagine you on the tools. Sorry.
As you know, I have a certain way of training trainees. Sometimes you agree with it, sometimes you don't.
I don't agree with how he trains sometimes.
No.
I kind of want to interrupt you.
You can interrupt me. You're a senior.
I do.
You're
I
a senior.
scream over when he's...
You can actually interrupt me.
No, we have a new guy. He's going to see this. And even with our other colleague, Laura, I would hear him training and I just yell like, Tav, stop. I'm like, stop it. What are you doing? No. But you like my criticism, I like to think.
One thing you learn, and it took me a long time to say this, and you think it's really common sense.
Yeah.
But maybe boys are different. It's taken me a long time to make people feel heard.
Yeah.
But also hearing what they say without waiting to just reply back and actually take the feedback on board.
Okay.
And that's taken me a long time.
You're listening, but you're not hearing.
I think we all listen, it's just whether we hear what's been said.
Yeah, selective.
But not even selective, like just tuning out and waiting to reply.
Okay.
And that, I think, is a skill that all recruiters do well at eventually, because they have to listen to their clients.
Yeah, they do.
And then they have to, yeah, exactly. I think, I'm just trying to think of all the, just think of all the situations you've had in recruitment that if the client actually listened to you,
Yeah.
not just said they're all good.
Yeah.
Have you read my email? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or then they go, yeah, absolutely, it's fine. The guy then resigns from his job, starting on Monday. Suddenly he goes and looks at the fucking paperwork and goes, oh shit, what do you mean? And it's not like our rates are any different, where it actually states the pay rate, it states the charge rate, it states everything here. It's like you go buy a car, go to the dealership, you test drive it, you see the price in the window, we're all good, fantastic, I'll take it. Hang on, I'm not paying that. What are you talking about? Like, you've already signed to buy the car.
Yeah, I know. They don't care.
I would love to be when some of our old, not our current clients, we love our current clients.
Love them.
Love them. If you're a current client of TRS Resourcing, we love you guys. And if you're not a current client of TRS Resourcing, you fucking should be.
You should be.
You should be.
Please inquire with me or Laura or but first me.
I think we'll just give you all the work, and you can work it out from there.
No, I need balance. I think in recruitment and any job in general, if you have high expectations or unrealistic expectations, you're going to get really disappointed really quick. I think so many things go wrong, like you said just now, and you just have to move on because you're just going to be stuck and you're not going to be moving forward either.
Correct. And that is a big problem.
Yeah. It takes time to learn that you can have everything in place and it will still go wrong. And yes, you're allowed to be disappointed, but if you dwell on it, you're not going to get anywhere.
The one thing in this business that I've seen time and time again, you're in a positive state of mind, you spin up, you get more positive, you're more positive. If you get negative, it'll just attach and you just start spinning down hard.
Yeah.
And you're either spinning up or you're spinning down. And the trick is when you're spinning up to keep pushing because you know it's eventually, but when it does that, you know that it's not going to last forever.
I'll ask you.
Oh, what are you going to ask me?
Your predictions for this year.
Personal or work?
Work? Because if it's personal, we're going to be here till next year. So.
No. I think my predictions for the whole industry is, I think with a lot of work happening in Victoria and New South Wales at the moment, the demand for certain trades is still going to, it's just going to be, there's not the people around, so I think there's going to be a real pressure on base wages again.
Yeah.
I think with migration starting to pick up again, we're going to start seeing more available candidates. My other prediction is I think that the way AI is going and the way technology is going and what we're seeing at the moment, there's going to be a real shift in the way that we do our recruitment.
Yeah, I think so.
I can actually starting to see it now. We're probably, and funny enough, Eleanor and Claire are working on it this week, where we're probably going to start seeing more AI-generated onboarding.
Okay, interesting.
I think that's going to be a bit of a game changer for us.
Save us time.
Yeah, save us time. Automation around, requesting, instead of, requesting right to work, the system just does it.
Okay.
It's not there yet, but it's something that I can see definitely coming through. And lastly, I see our clients really being specific with their contractor dates, as in, give us someone, we'll have them for 6 months, we've got enough work. I really see, we want someone for 3 months. I want someone for 4 months. I want someone for 8 months. I need someone for this. So I think we're going back to project-related recruitment, as in we've got this project to complete, we want to ramp up our workforce, use that workforce, and then ramp it back down.
Yeah, I think they've been pretty honest with what they want.
Yep.
And really strict with timeframes. You're
Exactly.
so right. I've noticed that. So I can see that continuing for sure.
Which is a little bit frustrating because obviously you just want to start roll to that, keep putting more people on. With that, you need, so when your project's here and it's got another 3 weeks on it or 4 weeks or a month, you kind of need to find another project to put those guys onto, which means if you don't have that project, someone else has got that project. So I actually see a lot of trades moving around between recruiters because we all don't have the same projects.
I agree. I see that happening. It's going to be a good year. I'm manifesting.
You've got a manifesting board and we haven't spoken about it. We haven't spoken about your manifesting board.
In our next episode.
Well, we better wrap this up because you're hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry. I gotta eat. I haven't eaten today.
You haven't eaten today and you're going to get very hangry at me. So we'll finish up, guys. Done. Thank you as always.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.